The Nigeria's Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, has railed against international rating agencies' recent downgrades of sub-Saharan economies such as Nigeria and Ghana. The finance chief was speaking virtually as a panelist at the inauguration of the new Africa's Macroeconomic Performance Report launched this morning in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.
We have steadily steered the country back to the path of growth. Our target is to be able to reach the pre-COVID-19 growth levels, but we still face a number of challenges, a lot of which are global, but that affect us locally. We have high food prices, inflation is at a very high rate and still climbing up. In our case, the Naira also continues to weaken against the dollar, increasing our debt service obligations. But some of the things I want to mention that are really sore for us is the issue of the cost of financing that we're faced with. When we have to go to the market and we don't have any support, we end up borrowing at very, very high cost compared to European countries that whose economies are not even as strong as ours, that end up with low cost. We've been asking for a liquidity sustainability facility as part of the use of the SDRs that have been issued and not utilized by countries that don't need them, to act as a cushion for our country so that when we go out to borrow, that the borrowing cost is less. We need this financing to be able to invest in critical infrastructure that is required for us to grow, even to grow industry, to expand fiber optics so that we can skill more people quickly and also provide better quality education for our citizens. So this LST is very important to us. We have also been asking MDBs to consider giving us longer term financing and larger size financing. Most MDBs come with financing that enable us to do pilots. We're tired of pilot projects that take years to roll out. We need scale. At this time, we just need scale. Nigeria has shown a lot of resilience as a country, but also the people have shown a lot of resilience. And we just need that breakthrough, that support to enable us to take the full advantage within the continent of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area that is that we have set up and we are still struggling to implement properly. We need to grow industry. We need to support micro, small, medium enterprises to be able to attain the 7 to 10% growth that is projected in the report. We're currently growing at average of 3% in our country, with a population of 201 million people, and with the population increase rate almost at the same rate as our GDP grows. So we need scale in financing. We need scale in any support that comes to our country. We also are urging countries that are providing support that to address the high food prices. While it is important to provide grains, what we require, at least in Nigeria, is not for food to be provided to us. We want inputs and technology and machinery to enable us grow enough food to feed our people, to export the food, to add value to the food items. We don't need grains to be delivered into our countries just to feed people alone. That is not enough. We need to be able to grow the food and as well as process it and export this food items across the continent. I want to just add that the issue of the rating agencies is also a very sore one. These rating agencies need to know that their assessments are bringing our countries down and also affecting the lives of the population in our countries. It shouldn't just be a tick box exercise. This assessment should be on a long-term basis. An incident happens, and because of that, a country is downgraded. And your instruments in the international capital markets suffers a run. If you go out to raise for financing for developmental projects, you're not able to access the financing, or you access it at a very, very high cost, which makes the returns almost impracticable to achieve. We've done a lot of work in Nigeria. We've moved away from depending on oil revenues. Currently, a greater contribution of government revenues is the non-oil sector. We started in 2015 with oil revenues contributing 70% to our budget. We've moved that to non-oil revenue contributing 73% of our budget. We've done a lot of work. There's a lot of reforms, but there are global incidents. There's a poly crisis that keeps working against the growth that we have been trying to achieve. But despite that, Nigeria remains resilient and will continue to push the bar. We've done a lot to catalyze private sector capital to support us in building out major infrastructure. A quick example that I would like to give is the Road Infrastructure Tax Credit Scheme, which is a unique model that we have put together that enables investors in the private sector to use their funds to develop specific roads in specific economic corridors and recover their investment through tax credits over a period of time. We have also other innovative financing models that encourages both investments directly by the private sector and also indirectly through the domestic capital market to raise financing for infrastructure development in our country. I want to congratulate AFDB for continuously putting together this macroeconomic outlook. It's important that we continue to see what the trend is, and also the recommendations that have been provided are very apt, and we will seek to strengthen our reform efforts using the recommendations of the report.
Now, global energy leaders, the executives and other industry professionals rub minds at a tripartite meeting on outlook for the world energy demand.